and welcome everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for each life path number for the month of August 2025. Before we get into the forecast, this is a general reading. If you would like your own personal numerology reading, where we'll take a look at all of your own personal numerology placements, please book some time with me. You can find my information in the description box below. Also, my published book, Find Your Way in Love and Relationships with Numerology, is out now and available for purchase. And the information to do so is also in the description box below. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at August. Life Path 44-8. So you are going to be working with the vibration of the 52-7. And I feel like you just recently had this with one of the transits that came through, but now you're having it for a full month. And so this is a really transformative period. This brings in the potential for significant change. It can also bring in the need for separation. So release, right? Letting go of things that aren't serving you, whether it's belief systems or thought patterns or, behaviors that maybe you've been kind of stuck in. This would be a phenomenal period where it will help you to release what you need to release, or at least start that process, right? Because a lot of times it's not an overnight success type of story. Usually it takes time, especially when they're behaviors or thought patterns that we've had for many, many years, right? It takes time to separate ourselves from those thought patterns. But it's really this energy that's helping you to realize that, our thoughts drive our actions ultimately, right? And so if our thoughts about ourselves, about others, about the world are, lacking in confidence or self-defeating, whatever it may be, then our actions are going to reflect that. And so there's this element of taking your time when it comes to choosing what you believe that your mind is feeding you, right? What are your thoughts saying to you? And, we can't dictate what thoughts come in for us. They're going to come in. But we can decide what thoughts we say yes to, what thoughts we cling to, what thoughts we believe about ourselves, about others, about the world, about the universe, etc. Because those thoughts dictate our actions, and those actions determine our experience. So if we are kind of stuck in, let's say that we believe the self-defeating thoughts, and so our actions will reflect that. If we feel like we are not capable of doing something, then we're not going to do it, right? We're not going to take the action, or at least we're not going to go all in because we believe that we're not capable of achieving whatever it is. If we think that the world is out to get us, then we're not going to be vulnerable in the world because we feel the world is out to get us. If we believe everyone is awful, I don't know, then we're not going to form healthy connections with people because our belief is that everyone is going to treat us poorly. You see what I'm saying? So the thought patterns are what dictate the actions and is what dictates the experience. So if we're having an awful experience, not to say life can't throw shit our way, right? Of course, that happens all the time. But so much of it, no matter even what the world throws at us, so much of our thoughts around that experience is what dictates our action and which dictates our experience. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's this opportunity with the 52-7, first of all, for greater self-discovery. This is, again, coming back to self. There's a lot of work here for 44-8s, the last couple of readings, I think, that is pushing you back to you. It's bringing you back home to yourself for this greater self-discovery. And I really do think that because you've got the 5 and also the 2, right? The 2 can bring in balance and healing, can also bring in connections, that sort of thing. But the 5 brings in change and a need for change and a need for breaking free. And the 7 is about self, coming back to self, coming back home to ourselves. And so there's something here about needing to heal or change something within ourselves. to become more authentic, to have a better, healthier experience in life. And so much of that, because the 7 deals with ultimately the psyche, right? Our own sort of psychology. And so there's definitely something here, 44s, where you have an opportunity this month, because you've got, a full month to kind of really lean into this energy. And I would say ultimately pay attention to the thoughts. Journal about it. If you're having negative thoughts about yourself or others, or again, your experience or the universe, whatever, maybe deconstruct that a little bit. Deconstruct it. Write down the thought, write down the worst case scenario, write down your solution, write down your course of action, because you're giving your ego sort of what it needs to feel safe, right? To not only explore those thoughts, but to see that it's only in the mind. Yes, we'll have bad experiences. Yes, things will be very difficult. Yes, people will treat us poorly. Yes, life can throw a lot of lemons our way, right? But we get to decide how we engage, how we participate, how we think about that experience, and what actions we choose to take. And it's that sort of autonomy, that sense of self, that drives not only the actions, but the experience. So my point of saying all this is pay attention to your thoughts this month and really go deep into that, remembering that you get to decide what you believe. So many of the stories that your mind is probably telling you about, again, what you're capable of, what you're worthy of, what you deserve, all of those things, you get to choose what you believe. And if you start to believe some of those things, ask yourself the bigger question: why do I believe this about myself? And then deconstruct it. The 7 energy and the 7 cycle is an opportunity to go deeper, to ask the bigger questions and to get the bigger answers. But those bigger questions need to be asked first to self. And we need to be open to the answers that come through. So pay attention to what you believe, what you cling to, what you say yes to. Pay attention to what is driving your actions day to day. Are your actions driving you towards greater fulfillment, joy, satisfaction? Or are your thoughts and actions driving you towards victimhood, dismay, feeling, shot down and not valuable or whatever? Pay attention to those thoughts, because they're very, very powerful and they can determine your experience. Now, pulled an animal wisdom message for you all, and you got cardinal energy. And it's interesting because the first thing that came to mind when I saw the cardinal was I thought of cardinal energy in astrology, right? And that's leadership energy. So there's something here about leadership within your own life. And there's also this energy of igniting your inner flame, your inner passion. What lights you up? What makes you happy? Do more of that. What brings you joy? A lot of times we have to create our own joy. Do more of that, right? Believe the thoughts that are pushing you in that direction, not the thoughts and the actions that are pushing you in the direction of, again, victimhood or feeling like you're not enough. Cardinal energy is, again, leadership type of energy. It reminds us that we have the power to determine the direction of our life. And only we have that power, no matter what the world throws at us or what another person throws at us. We have that power. So beautiful energy here. And it's also red, right? The cardinals are red. So there's fire energy. This is about taking initiative, taking control. But also, being adaptable and moving with the energy as it presents. Big energy here for you all 44s. I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now.